Welcome to Remote System Enumeration. So this video is packed full of techniques we've actually already covered: process lists, registry information, system info, but we did all those things against our local machine. In this video, we're gonna be running a lot of those same tasks to list out processes, but we're gonna be running it against the remote domain controller, Chai DC1. So this video is a little bit more conclusive, showing you how to add those remote flags so they work against the remote machine. And it's always a great idea to fully enumerate any remote targets before you go ahead and get access to them. If there's an admin logged in or they're running some type of defensive tool set, you want to know that before you actually run your execution and get into trouble. So that's what this video is all about. Let's go ahead and jump in. So I have my session up. If I do a who am I, you'll see I am currently running as Chicago Sarah Austin DA. So I'm good to go. I can query the domain controller and all is good. We'll test that right now, just with a little $. Perfect. It enumerated the remote share that's open on this domain controller, $, and I got all the files back. This means my token works, my user works, and I can proceed with this section. So first up in the RTFM, we have net session over here. Let's try it, net session. And I do want to call out sometimes, yeah, perfect, access is denied. Although I do have an administrator, some specific commands still may not work, and that's okay. We've got a bunch of other commands to try here, and our directory listing worked, so there's a good chance some of the other stuff will work. WMIC, we actually have to use the IP address, so let me grab that. If we do an NS lookup, Chai DC1 right here, you'll see our IP address is right here. So let's go ahead, get this command typed out. Computer system get username. So this command is going to go out to the domain controller and grab the currently logged in username. That'll give me a better idea of who's logged in, and then I can figure out if I really want to go to that machine or not. So in our example here, we see Chicago administrator is currently logged into the Chicago domain controller. This next one we're actually going to skip for now. This is a remote execution command that we're going to use later on to execute one of our implants. You can totally use it in the enumeration step if you want to run task list, ipconfig, something like that. But I'm going to save this for when we're actually trying to run an implant on that machine. Scrolling down, I'll show you this one, but with a small caveat. If you run this with the every 1 second, it's obviously going to stick your command line. You won't be able to interact with it anymore. It'll just keep running that process list. If you do want to use this command on an assessment, make sure you have 2 sessions off the target. 1 session to be doing that loop of the process list, and then in the other session you can kill it, or you can just interact with the target from there. So then again, I'm gonna run it. I'm just gonna drop off that every second piece. So we have WMIC node IP, process list brief, and sure enough, all the running processes on the target domain controller. I wanna show you another really cool trick too. You can actually list out registry items on the target. So let's try that, Chai DC1. Let's just do HKU just to show you how it would work. So reg query, sure enough, you can interact with the Windows registry of the remote machine. And you could actually do a whole run key persistence technique all remotely without actually being on that machine. And then we have another task list one right here. I typically use this one a lot more in operations, not really for any specific reason. I just always remember that one. So let's do an NS lookup, Chai DC1, get the IP address. We'll do a task list, whack V, whack S. Give it the IP address here. We have our full process list here as well. You can look through the processes, obviously see what's running on the target machine before you get on it. Moving on down the list here, please be careful with system info. System info will actually create a full user profile for whatever credential you're currently using. So if your user that you're using, in our case, Sarah Austin DA, if she's never logged into the domain controller, if you run this command, it's gonna create a full user profile for her on the DC. So be careful with that one. Let's go ahead and run it though. We'll do system info, whack S, Chai DC1. And then we do have the option to pass it some plain text credentials. I already have the token loaded. My session's already running as Sarah Austin DA. A ton more helpful information. You got your host name. We've already been through the system info with the original workstation. A lot of good stuff. For this copy command, I just want you all to know, whenever you're interacting with the $C share on a target machine, all your same copy, move, delete, all those commands still apply. You can still run them just like it's a local file system. So feel free to run xcopy, copy, whatever you want. You can move files to and from that remote machine without any issues. And I actually really like this dir command. This is going to give us a few different sets of information. So let's go ahead and run it right now. Chai DC1 C dollar. And we have a full listing of the C dollar drive on the DC, and some helpful information is inside. The first thing I want to note here is this pagefile.sys. If you look over here, this is what the RTFM is calling out. This file is created on a specific computer when it first starts up. So you'll immediately know when this machine last started up, last booted. It's a really, really nice command to have. And then the second item you want to look for is this program files and program files x86. You'll see the RTFM says display system architecture. The presence of program files x86 means it's a 64-bit operating system. So if you're creating a specific payload for the target, you may want to run this command first to make sure it's 64-bit before you just assume use 64-bit and potentially break a program or pop a window. So be very careful with that. Always enumerate your target architecture before you jump on the machine. And that's a wrap for this video. It's a little bit shorter this time around. We already went through system info, the process list, and all those registry commands in the previous situational awareness section. So feel free to click back and check those out if you want. I just want you all to know you can run a lot of these commands remotely as well to baseline a system before you get on it.